this week, the Supreme Court once again ruled for millionaires and billionaires in the McCutcheon versus the FEC trial that hit the Supreme Court just a couple weeks ago. Chief Justice John Roberts said the following: "There is no right more basic in our democracy than the right to participate in electing our political leaders." He's in the next 40 pages of his explanation talking about why participation should include the right of rich people to attempt to buy an election. Thanks to the decision of Roberts and 4 other conservative members handed down today, even though our good friend Clarence Thomas, who I saw in the airport a couple weeks ago, should have said something to him. Should have stepped on his foot just because. I'm joking. Either way, who wrote an even crazier decision indicating that there should all campaign limits should be just get eviscerated, done. Wealthy donors now have a brand new power to launder money to political candidates. Now, prior to Wednesday's opinion, federal laws placed 2 complementary limits on campaigns. Pretty simple. During the current election cycle, donors cannot give more than $5,200 per election cycle, $26 for the primary, $26 for the general, to give to a federal candidate. And if you were giving to a party, you could give $48,000. Well, the McCutcheon decision invalidated aggregate limit of the total amount of money that can be donated, that can be made for a federal candidate, which is $48,000, and by all political committees, which is $74,000. Thus, the most you could ever donate is $123,000 for somebody seeking 2014 election. Now, there is no limit. You can give unlimitedly, right? So that means tomorrow, us here at the Fowler Show, if we had it, can wake up and give $1 million to Kay Hagan, and nobody could stop us. There's no law that could stop us from giving $1 million to Kay Hagan. But, America, herein lies the problem. When you get rid of and you destroy the limits put in place, and these limits are put in place for good reason. They were put in place because there was this whole idea when they created these laws, America, that rich people and the oligarchs would basically rule the country. Now think about this just for a second, and I'm going to follow me on this journey, if you would. About 200, almost 300 years ago, give or take a couple years, our founding fathers fought to get rid of a monarchy because they didn't like the ideal of some queen from a far away land, or some king for that matter, ruling right here in America. A king that was made a king because of the family that they were born into, ruling here in America, right? And that's the essence of why we embrace democracy and we kick the king out. Am I right? Am I right, America? I think I'm right. Okay, just stay with me and I'll bless you. Now, what we are saying is, in this decision, that's what we're saying. We are saying that really rich people who probably born into really, really rich families, i.e. the Romneys or the Adelsons or the Kochs or any of those, you pick your fancy, or the Waltons, happen to be born rich. Maybe, sort of, you can call them monarchs. So let's just call them monarchs. Let's call them monarchs. Can give unlimitedly to elected officials. So, pretty much, the Kochs or the Waltons or the Adelsons can walk down on Capitol Hill, tap a random Congress member by the, just tap them on the shoulder. Hey, here's a $5 million check. I need you to vote this way on this bill. Better yet, I want to own all your votes. And if you don't vote the way I want you to vote, then what I will do is I'll give this $5 million check to your opponent in 2 years. Well, I'll be darned. Well, that would indicate that this one individual has more power than the constituents of said member of Congress, right? Because if you can either fund my candidate unlimitedly because I voted the wrong way, or fund me unlimitedly because I voted the right way, in your mind, then you utterly pretty much control my voting ability. Meaning, while it is, yes, my job, stay with me and I'll bless you, to represent my constituents, 500,000, a million, depending upon a million, 500,000 constituents, and that's my constituency. They really don't matter because it's all about if I could win my re-election. And to win my re-election, I need money to buy ads and put out mailers and put up yard signs and get people knocking on doors. So thus, I have ceded control that was given to me by those that I was elected to serve to a millionaire or a billionaire who wrote me a $5 million check, i.e., creating the system that our founding fathers basically, fought and bled and died for. The right for every man to have a vote. The right that every man was created equal. That goes out the window on this decision because it says that is not true. Millionaires and billionaires are actually, they're more, they get more. They're not equal to us here at the Fowler Show. Because us here at the Fowler Show can't give $1 million check. Thus, we can't get an appointment with a member of Congress. Thus, we can't sit down with a member of Congress. Thus, we can't influence a member of Congress because who is a member of Congress to listen to? My producer, Rich? Or Sheldon Addison's son, Richard, who can give him a $5 million check? What we have done here is taken a harpoon and harpooned our Constitution, America. We have basically said this court has basically said, one, that corporations are people, and two, that corporations and people can give unlimitedly to whichever candidate they feel like giving to. Not a super PAC where there were laws set up about it. No, just give unlimitedly. Just open up your coffers and give unlimitedly to any candidate you feel fit to give to. This, America, is what you call dirty money in our politics. When money is given unlimitedly for candidates to vote certain ways in certain elections, what we have on our hands is a threat to our democracy. You crush the freedom, you crush the right to vote here. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because if I can pay people to go vote for me because I have so much money in my coffers, right? And I spend more time kowtowing to these millionaires and billionaires than I do to my actual constituents, we have a problem on our hands. America, and listen, and this is not something I'm making up. Just last weekend, all the quote unquote possible candidates for president of the United States went out to Las Vegas to campaign in front of one man, not for the country, for one man. They all went out to campaign in front of Sheldon Adelson. It's almost like a bad episode of HBO's former show called The Bunny Ranch, America, where the women come out and they parade in front of the men to see who the men is going to pick to sleep with that night in a prostitution ring. Not that I agree with that. Not that I will ever slut shame, because I don't believe in that, right? And I believe in the rights of sex workers. But this is. Our candidates are going out to the highest bidder instead of the people that vote to put them in office. This is a crying shame. And I think what makes matters even worse here and where the media perspective comes in on this one is this. When these candidates can give unlimited, when these millionaires and billionaires can give unlimitedly to campaigns, just imagine what your viewing experience is going to be like during election times. Commercial after commercial after commercial of polluted information about why you should vote for X candidate or vote for Y candidate. America, we are in peril. This country is in trouble, and the Supreme Court, America, is part of it. It's not the first case we've seen. They have Hobby Lobby next. There's so much more this court can do. There's so much damage it can do. This is why elections matter. This is why you have to vote. We're back on the Fowler Show after this break.